You have been lied to about wealth. They told you wealth comes from lucky breaks. They told you it comes from inheritance, connections, or being in the right place at the right time. They told you some people are just born under a fortunate star, and others are destined to struggle. That is a lie. And it is a lie that has kept you exactly where you are right now. Listen to me carefully. The wealth you desire, the abundance you dream about when you lie awake at night, is not being withheld from you by outside circumstances. It is not being blocked by the economy, your background, your education, or your current bank balance. It is being blocked by something far more subtle. Something invisible. Something you carry with you every single day, into every room you enter, into every conversation you have, into every decision you make. Your aura. Now, before you dismiss this as mystical nonsense, understand what I mean by that word. Your aura is the invisible field of energy you project into the world. It is the sum total of your thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and expectations. It is the silent broadcast you transmit to every person and every opportunity that crosses your path. And right now, your aura is programmed for lack. You may not realize it. You may think you desire wealth. You may say you want abundance. But your aura, the frequency you are broadcasting, tells a different story. It tells the story of doubt, fear, unworthiness, and limitation. And the universe responds to that story. Every single time. You repel the very wealth you claim to desire because the invisible signal you send contradicts your conscious wishes. Your words say, I want wealth, but your aura screams, I don't believe I deserve it. I don't believe it's possible for me. I don't believe I am the kind of person who has massive wealth. And so wealth stays away. Not because it is scarce. Not because you are unlucky. But because you are broadcasting the wrong frequency. From this moment forward, everything changes. You are about to learn how to reprogram your aura for massive wealth. Not through wishful thinking. Not through empty affirmations. But through the systematic reconstruction of your mental, emotional, and spiritual frequency. This is not theory. This is law. And like all laws, it works whether you believe in it or not. But for it to work in your favor, you must first understand it. Then you must apply it. Then you must live it until it becomes as natural as breathing. Before we go further, I want you to do something right now. Subscribe to this channel. Leave a comment telling me where you are watching from. Not just your location, but where you are in your journey toward wealth. Be honest. That honesty is the first step in reprogramming your aura. Because what you are about to learn will only work if you are willing to face the truth about yourself. There is a principle that governs all wealth, all success, all achievement. It is not taught in schools. It is rarely discussed in public. But every person who has ever accumulated massive wealth has understood it, whether consciously or unconsciously. Here it is, you do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. Read that again. Let it sink into the deepest part of your consciousness. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. This is the foundational law of all personal achievement. Your external world is a perfect mirror of your internal world. Your bank account reflects your self-concept. Your relationships reflect your beliefs about what you deserve. Your opportunities reflect the frequency you broadcast. Nothing in your life is random. Every result you have produced, every success, every failure, every near miss, every disappointment, is the direct consequence of the person you have become on the inside. Now, most people reject this idea immediately. They look at their current circumstances and say, but I didn't choose this. I didn't want to struggle. I didn't want to be broke. How can you say I attracted this? Listen carefully. Attraction is not about conscious desire. It is about vibrational alignment. You may consciously desire wealth. But if your subconscious mind is programmed with beliefs of unworthiness, scarcity, and limitation, then your subconscious will win. Every single time. Your subconscious mind is 1,000,000 times more powerful than your conscious mind. It is the operating system running in the background of your life. It controls your habits, your emotional responses, your automatic thoughts, and yes, your aura. And for most people, that operating system was programmed in childhood. It was programmed by parents who struggled. By teachers who told you to be realistic. By a society that conditions you to accept mediocrity as virtue and ambition as greed. You absorbed those programs. Those beliefs. Those limitations. And now, decades later, you wonder why wealth eludes you. It eludes you because your aura is still running the old program. The program of lack. The program of just enough. The program of people like me don't get rich. Your aura is the energetic signature of your subconscious programming. When you walk into a room, people feel it. They cannot name it, but they sense it. They sense your confidence or your insecurity. They sense your abundance mindset or your scarcity mindset. They sense whether you see yourself as powerful or powerless. And they respond accordingly. Opportunities respond accordingly. Money responds accordingly. This is not metaphysics. This is psychology. This is neuroscience. This is the documented reality of how human beings perceive and respond to one another. Studies have proven that people make judgments about you within milliseconds of meeting you. They assess your status, your confidence, your credibility, not through your words, but through your energy. Your posture. Your eye contact. Your tone of voice. The micro-expressions on your face. The presence you carry. All of these are expressions of your aura. And all of these are controlled by your subconscious programming. If your subconscious believes you are worthy of wealth, you will carry yourself like someone who is worthy of wealth. You will speak like it. You will make decisions like it. You will take actions like it. And wealth will flow toward you. But if your subconscious believes you are unworthy, you will sabotage yourself at every turn. You will hesitate when you should act. You will accept less than you deserve. You will apologize for wanting more. You will dim your own light so others feel comfortable. And wealth will flow away from you. This is the great secret. The secret that nobody wants to tell you because it places the responsibility squarely on your shoulders. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are the creator of circumstances. Your life is not happening to you. It is happening through you. It is the outward manifestation of the inner programs you are running. And if you do not like what you see, you must change the programs. You must reprogram your aura. Now, understand this clearly, reprogramming your aura is not about pretending to be someone you are not. It is not about fake positivity or forced affirmations or lying to yourself about your current reality. It is about dismantling the false beliefs that were installed in you without your permission, and replacing them with the truth of your infinite potential. You were not born to struggle. You were not born to barely get by. You were not born to watch from the sidelines while others live the life you secretly dream about. You were born with the same creative power that has built empires, launched industries, and transformed lives. That power is still within you. It has always been within you. But it has been buried under layers of fear, doubt, and false programming. Reprogramming your aura means excavating that power. Bringing it to the surface. Aligning your thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and actions with the wealth you were meant to experience. This is not optional. If you want massive wealth, this is the only path. Because wealth is not something you chase. Wealth is something you become. When you become the person who naturally attracts wealth, when your aura radiates confidence, certainty, and deservingness, wealth has no choice but to flow toward you. It is law. The law of correspondence. The law of vibration. The law of cause and effect. These are not New Age inventions. These are principles that have been recognized by every great civilization, every wisdom tradition, every serious student of success. The ancient philosophers understood it. The industrial titans understood it. The modern billionaires understand it. And now you must understand it. Your aura is your fortune. Your energy is your economy. The frequency you broadcast determines the resources you attract. Change the frequency, and you change the results. It is that simple. And it is that profound. But simplicity does not mean ease. To reprogram your aura requires relentless self-honesty. It requires the courage to look at yourself without excuses. It requires the discipline to change your thoughts, your words, your habits, and your emotional patterns. Most people will not do this work. They will continue to blame external circumstances. They will continue to hope for a lucky break while broadcasting the frequency of desperation and lack. And they will continue to wonder why wealth never comes. But you are not most people. If you were, you would not be here right now. You would not be willing to consider that your own programming might be the barrier between you and the wealth you desire. You are here because something inside you knows the truth. Knows that you are capable of more. Knows that your current results do not reflect your true potential. That knowing is correct. But knowing is not enough. You must act on that knowledge. You must apply these principles with the same discipline that a scientist applies the laws of physics. Because these laws are just as reliable. Just as predictable. Just as unavoidable. Reprogram your aura, and wealth will come. Not someday. Not when conditions are perfect. But immediately. Because the moment your aura changes, your results begin to change. Opportunities you could not see before suddenly become visible. Connections you could not make before suddenly materialize. Ideas you could not access before suddenly flow into your consciousness. Why? Because your aura has tuned into the frequency where those things exist. They were always there. You simply were not vibrating at the level required to perceive them. Think of it like a radio. The station you want to hear is already broadcasting. But if your receiver is tuned to the wrong frequency, you will never hear it. You could sit in front of that radio for years, wishing and hoping and praying to hear that station. But until you turn the dial to the correct frequency, it will never come through. Your aura is the dial. Wealth is the station. And right now, you are tuned to the frequency of lack. Turn the dial. Reprogram your aura. Align yourself with the frequency of massive wealth. This is not magic. This is mechanics. The mechanics of consciousness. The mechanics of energy. The mechanics of manifestation. And like all mechanics, it can be learned. It can be practiced. It can be mastered. Starting today. Starting right now. Starting with the next thought you think, the next word you speak, the next action you take. Your aura is being programmed in every moment. The question is, are you programming it deliberately, or are you allowing the world to program it for you? Most people allow the world to program their aura. They absorb the negativity around them. They adopt the limitations of their peer group. They internalize the scarcity messages broadcast by the media. And then they wonder why their life reflects scarcity. You must become the programmer. You must take conscious control of your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotional state. You must guard your mind like a fortress and only allow thoughts that serve your wealth to enter. This is not optional. This is the price of massive wealth. And it is a price that must be paid daily. Not once. Not when you feel like it. But every single day, with ruthless consistency. Because your old programming is strong. It has been running for years, perhaps decades. It will not surrender easily. It will fight back. It will whisper doubts. It will create fear. It will tempt you back into old patterns. But you must be stronger. You must be more disciplined. You must be more committed to your new programming than your subconscious is to the old. And if you do this, if you stay the course, you will reach a tipping point. A point where the new programming becomes stronger than the old. Where your new aura becomes your natural state. Where wealth stops being something you chase and becomes something you simply are. That is the promise. That is the reward. But it will cost you your excuses. It will cost you your victim stories. It will cost you the comfort of blaming others for your lack. Are you willing to pay that price? If you are, then everything is about to change. Let me tell you what is really blocking your wealth. It is not the economy. It is not your job. It is not your boss, your spouse, your parents, or your past. It is your relationship with yourself. Every day, you sabotage your own success. You do it unconsciously. You do it automatically. You do it through patterns so deeply ingrained that you no longer recognize them as choices. And until you face these patterns, nothing will change. First, you sabotage yourself through your words. Listen to how you talk about money. Listen to the phrases that come out of your mouth without thought. I can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees. I'm broke. Rich people are greedy. I'm just not good with money. Every one of these statements is programming your aura for lack. Every time you speak these words, you are instructing your subconscious mind to create more evidence of limitation. Your words are not neutral. Your words are creative. They shape your beliefs. They direct your focus. They determine your actions. And your actions determine your results. When you say, I can't afford that, you close your mind to possibilities. You train yourself to think in terms of limitation. You reinforce the identity of someone who lacks resources. But when you change your words, you change your programming. Instead of, I can't afford that, you ask, how can I afford that? Instead of, I'm broke, you say, I am building wealth. Instead of, money doesn't grow on trees, you say, money flows to me easily and consistently. You may think this is semantic games. You may think these small changes do not matter. You would be wrong. Your subconscious mind listens to every word you say. It takes your statements as commands. If you constantly tell it you are broke, it will find ways to keep you broke. If you tell it you are building wealth, it will find ways to help you build wealth. This is not theory. This is documented reality. The field of cognitive neuroscience has proven that your self-talk directly affects your neurological pathways, your hormone production, and your behavior patterns. What you say about yourself becomes true, not because the universe is listening, but because your brain is listening. Your brain is always listening. And it believes everything you tell it. So stop lying to it. Stop feeding it stories of lack and limitation. Start programming it with the truth of abundance and possibility. But words are only the beginning. Your second form of sabotage runs deeper, your emotions. Specifically, your relationship with the emotion of desire. You want wealth. But you are terrified to want it fully. You are afraid to desire it without reservation. So you hedge. You qualify. You diminish your own desires. I want wealth, but only if it comes the right way. I want wealth, but not if it changes who I am. I want wealth, but I don't want to be greedy. I want wealth, but I don't want to work too hard. These qualifications are your subconscious protecting you from disappointment. They are defense mechanisms. Safety nets. Ways of wanting something while simultaneously preparing for not getting it. But they destroy your aura. When you want something half-heartedly, you broadcast a mixed signal. Part of you says, yes, and part of you says, no. The result is confusion, hesitation, and paralysis. Opportunities sense your ambivalence. People sense your lack of conviction. And they respond by withholding the very resources you need. You must want wealth completely. Unapologetically. Without shame or guilt or qualification. Desire is not evil. Desire is the engine of all progress. Desire is what drives innovation, creation, and achievement. Every great advancement in human history began with someone's burning desire for something better. Your desire for massive wealth is not greed. It is the calling of your potential. It is your inner genius demanding expression. It is life itself seeking to expand through you. But you have been taught to suppress that desire. You have been taught that wanting wealth makes you shallow, materialistic, or selfish. Another lie. Wealth is not the root of evil. The love of wealth to the exclusion of all else is the danger. But the desire for wealth as a tool to expand your life, serve others, and fulfill your purpose is noble. In fact, it is necessary. Because you cannot serve the world from a place of lack. You cannot lift others when you yourself are drowning. You cannot be generous when you are broke. Wealth gives you options. Wealth gives you freedom. Wealth gives you the ability to make decisions based on what is right rather than what is merely affordable. But you will never create wealth while feeling guilty about wanting it. You must embrace your desire. You must fan the flames of your ambition. You must allow yourself to want massive wealth with every fiber of your being. And when you do, your aura shifts. It begins to radiate certainty, purpose, power. And that energy is magnetic. The third way you sabotage yourself is through your focus. Specifically, where you place your attention throughout the day. You focus on problems. You focus on obstacles. You focus on what is going wrong, what might go wrong, and what has already gone wrong. You watch the news and absorb stories of crisis. You scroll through social media and compare yourself to others. You replay past failures in your mind. You rehearse worst-case scenarios for the future. And all of this focus programs your aura for fear and lack. Because where your attention goes, energy flows. What you focus on expands. If you focus on scarcity, you will see scarcity everywhere. If you focus on problems, problems will multiply. This is not pessimism. This is physiology. Your brain has a structure called the reticular activating system. Its job is to filter the millions of pieces of information your senses encounter every day and only bring to your conscious awareness the things that match your current focus. If you are focused on lack, your brain will show you evidence of lack. You will notice prices going up. You will notice bills arriving. You will notice opportunities passing you by. Not because these things are increasing, but because your focus has primed your brain to see them. And what you see reinforces what you believe. What you believe shapes what you feel. What you feel determines what you do. It is a cycle. A loop. And for most people, it is a downward spiral. But you can reverse it. You can program your brain to seek evidence of abundance instead of evidence of lack. You do this by deliberately directing your focus. By choosing what you pay attention to. By refusing to marinate in negativity and instead bathing your mind in possibility. Every day, you must ask yourself, what am I focusing on right now? Is this focus serving my wealth, or sabotaging it? If the answer is sabotage, you must redirect. Immediately. Not later. Not when you feel like it. But immediately. This is the discipline required to reprogram your aura. This is the price of massive wealth. And most people are not willing to pay it. They would rather indulge in worry, victimhood, and complaint. They would rather feel justified in their struggles than empowered to change them. But you are not most people. The fourth sabotage is your associations. The people you spend time with. The conversations you engage in. The environments you immerse yourself in. Show me your friends, and I will show you your future. This is not cruelty. This is reality. You become like the people you spend time with. You absorb their beliefs. You adopt their language. You mirror their habits. You conform to their standards. If you surround yourself with people who complain about money, you will complain about money. If you surround yourself with people who believe wealth is for others, you will believe wealth is for others. Your aura is constantly being influenced by the auras around you. Energy is contagious. Positivity is contagious. But so is negativity. So is limitation. So is fear. You cannot build a wealth aura while surrounding yourself with poverty consciousness. This does not mean you abandon everyone who is struggling. It means you become selective about who has access to your mind and your energy. You limit time with people who drain you. You increase time with people who inspire you. You seek out mentors, communities, and environments where wealth consciousness is the norm. Because your environment is constantly programming you. If your environment reflects lack, your aura will reflect lack. If your environment reflects abundance, your aura will reflect abundance. You must become ruthless about protecting your mental and emotional environment. This is not selfishness. This is self-preservation. Your aura is your most valuable asset. Guard it accordingly. The fifth sabotage is your actions, or more precisely, your inaction. You want wealth, but you do not act like someone who is building wealth. You wait for the perfect moment. You wait for more information. You wait for certainty. And while you wait, opportunities pass you by. Wealthy people act. They move. They take risks. They learn by doing. They understand that clarity comes through action, not contemplation. But you have been conditioned to avoid risk. To play it safe. To wait for guarantees. There are no guarantees. There never have been. Every great fortune was built by someone who was willing to act in the face of uncertainty. Your aura reflects your willingness to act. When you hesitate, people sense it. When you wait for permission, opportunities sense it. When you need certainty before you move, wealth senses it. And they all respond by staying away. But when you act with decisiveness, when you move toward your goals with confidence, even in the absence of complete information, your aura shifts. It begins to project certainty, leadership, power. And that energy draws resources to you. Wealthy people are not smarter than you. They are not more talented. They are not luckier. They are simply more willing to act. They decide. They commit. They move. And they adjust course as they go. You must do the same. You must become a person of action. You must train yourself to move toward opportunities instead of waiting for perfect conditions. Because perfect conditions never come. The time is never just right. You will never feel completely ready. But you must act anyway. That is the mark of someone whose aura is programmed for wealth. They act from vision, not from circumstances. They act from possibility, not from fear. And their results reflect that programming. Look at your current results. Look at your bank account. Look at your career. Look at your lifestyle. These are not accidents. These are not punishments. These are feedback. They are showing you the exact state of your current programming. The exact frequency your aura is broadcasting. If you do not like what you see, you must change the broadcast. You must stop the self-sabotage. You must become aware of the patterns that have been running your life unconsciously. And then you must replace them with new patterns. Deliberately. Consistently. Relentlessly. This is the work. This is the path. There is no shortcut. There is no magic pill. There is only the daily discipline of reprogramming your mind, your emotions, and your actions. But if you do this work, everything changes. Not someday. Not eventually. But immediately. Because the moment you change your aura, the world begins to respond differently to you. Now you understand what has been blocking you. Now you see the patterns that have been running your life. Now you recognize the sabotage. This awareness is the turning point. This is where everything shifts. Because you cannot change what you do not acknowledge. You cannot reprogram what you do not first recognize as faulty programming. But awareness alone is not enough. Awareness must be followed by decision. And decision must be followed by action. So right now, you must make a choice. A real choice. Not a wish. Not a hope. But a firm, irrevocable decision. You must decide that from this moment forward, you are taking complete responsibility for your aura. Complete responsibility. Not partial responsibility. Not responsibility when it is convenient. Complete responsibility. This means you stop blaming external circumstances for your lack of wealth. You stop waiting for the government to fix things. You stop waiting for your boss to give you a raise. You stop waiting for someone to hand you an opportunity. You accept that your current results are the exact reflection of your current programming. And you accept that if you want different results, you must install different programming. This is liberation. This is power. Because when you accept total responsibility, you reclaim total control. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You are no longer a victim of the economy, your background, or your past. You are the programmer. You are the creator. You are the architect of your own aura and therefore your own results. This truth will set you free. But first, it will confront you. It will challenge every excuse you have ever made. It will strip away every comfortable story you have told yourself about why wealth has not come. And you must let those stories die. They have served their purpose. They have protected you from disappointment. They have allowed you to avoid the pain of trying and failing. But they have also kept you small. They have kept you broke. They have kept you locked outside the gates of the wealth that is your birthright. It is time to step through those gates. And the key is a new mindset. The mindset of wealth begins with a single foundational belief: I am worthy of massive wealth. Not because of what you have done. Not because of what you will do. But simply because you exist. Worthiness is not earned. It is inherent. You are a creative being in a creative universe. You are an expression of infinite intelligence. You are made of the same substance that has created galaxies, orchestrated evolution, and powered every great achievement in human history. That power lives in you. It has always lived in you. And it desires to express itself through you in the form of wealth, abundance, and prosperity. But it can only express itself if you believe you are worthy of receiving it. Most people do not believe this. They have been taught that they must earn their worthiness. That they must prove themselves. That they must be good enough, smart enough, educated enough, connected enough. All lies. Your worthiness is not conditional. It is absolute. And the moment you accept this truth, the moment you stop trying to earn what is already yours by nature, your aura shifts. It shifts from begging to receiving. From chasing to attracting. From desperation to magnetism. Wealthy people do not chase money. They attract it. And they attract it because they believe, at the deepest level, that they are worthy of it. You must cultivate this belief. You must meditate on it. You must affirm it. You must live from it. I am worthy of massive wealth. Say it. Say it until you feel it. Say it until it becomes true in your bones. Because when this belief takes root in your subconscious, everything else follows. The second pillar of the wealth mindset is abundance consciousness. This is the understanding that there is more than enough. More than enough money. More than enough opportunities. More than enough resources. Most people operate from scarcity consciousness. They believe that wealth is limited. That if someone else gets rich, there is less for them. That they must compete, hoard, and protect. This belief creates an aura of desperation and fear. And that aura repels wealth. Abundance consciousness operates from a different understanding. It recognizes that wealth is not a finite pie. It is an infinite flow. Money is constantly being created. New value is constantly being generated. New opportunities are constantly emerging. And there is more than enough for everyone, including you. When you operate from abundance consciousness, you stop seeing others as competition. You stop feeling threatened by their success. You start celebrating their wealth because you understand that their success does not diminish your own. In fact, their success proves that wealth is possible. It proves that the flow is real. It proves that the universe is abundant. And this understanding changes your energy. It changes your aura. You stop transmitting scarcity and start transmitting abundance. And abundance attracts abundance. The third pillar is certainty. Not hope. Not wishful thinking. But absolute certainty that wealth is coming to you. This certainty is not based on external evidence. In fact, it often exists in spite of external evidence. It is an inner knowing. A conviction that cannot be shaken by temporary circumstances. Wealthy people have this certainty. They do not hope they will succeed. They know they will succeed. They move through the world with the energy of inevitability. And that energy creates results. Because certainty affects everything you do. It affects your decisions. It affects your actions. It affects how you show up in conversations, meetings, and opportunities. When you are certain, you do not hedge. You do not hesitate. You do not apologize. You commit fully. You invest deeply. You speak with authority. And people respond to that authority. Uncertainty repels resources. Certainty attracts them. You must cultivate this certainty. You must build it through daily practice. You must train your mind to focus on the inevitability of your success rather than the possibility of your failure. Every morning, you must declare your certainty. You must speak it. You must feel it. You must embody it. I am certain that massive wealth is flowing to me now. Not someday. Not eventually. Now. Because wealth does not exist in the future. Wealth exists in the present moment. It exists in your current state of consciousness. It exists in your present aura. And when your present aura radiates certainty, wealth manifests in your present reality. The fourth pillar is vision. You must see the wealth before you have it. You must live in the mental experience of abundance before it appears in your physical experience. This is not fantasy. This is programming. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between real and imagined experiences. When you vividly imagine yourself living in wealth, your subconscious accepts that as reality. And it begins to create circumstances that match that reality. This is why every great achiever throughout history has been a visionary. They saw the end result before it existed. They lived in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. They inhabited the identity of the person they were becoming. And their external world eventually conformed to their internal vision. You must do the same. You must create a clear, detailed, emotionally compelling vision of your wealthy life. Not vague wishes. Specific images. What does your home look like? What car do you drive? What does your bank statement show? How do you spend your days? Who do you spend your time with? How does it feel to move through the world with total financial freedom? You must see it. You must feel it. You must live it mentally. And you must do this every single day. Not once. Not when you remember. But every single day with the discipline of an athlete in training. Because that is what you are. You are an athlete of consciousness. And your sport is wealth creation. The fifth pillar is gratitude. Not gratitude for what you will have. Gratitude for what you already have, including the wealth that is on its way to you. Gratitude is the highest frequency emotion. It is the signal that tells the universe you are ready to receive more. When you are grateful, you acknowledge abundance. You affirm that you are blessed. You declare that life is working in your favor. And that declaration programs your aura for more blessings. Ungrateful people repel wealth. They take their current resources for granted. They focus on what is missing rather than what is present. They complain about their circumstances rather than celebrating their blessings. And their aura broadcasts lack. But grateful people attract wealth. They appreciate what they have. They acknowledge every good thing. They express thanks for both the large and the small. And their aura broadcasts abundance. You must become relentlessly grateful. You must train yourself to see blessings where others see burdens. You must find reasons to give thanks even in challenging circumstances. Because gratitude is not a response to good fortune. Gratitude creates good fortune. When you are grateful for the money in your pocket, more money comes. When you are grateful for the opportunities you have, more opportunities come. When you are grateful for the people in your life, more valuable connections come. Gratitude is the magnet that pulls wealth toward you. And it must be practiced daily. Hourly. In every moment. These 5 pillars, worthiness, abundance consciousness, certainty, vision, and gratitude, are the foundation of the wealth mindset. They are not theory. They are not optional. They are the non-negotiable building blocks of an aura programmed for massive wealth. And you must install them. You must practice them. You must embody them until they become as natural as breathing. Because your old programming will not disappear on its own. It will resist. It will fight back. It will whisper doubts and fears. But you must be stronger. You must be more committed to your new programming than your subconscious is to the old. And if you persist, you will reach the tipping point. The point where the new programming becomes dominant. Where the wealth mindset becomes your default state. Where your aura naturally radiates abundance, certainty, and magnetic power. That is when everything changes. That is when wealth stops being something you chase and becomes something you are. That is the promise. That is your destiny. But it requires your decision. Your commitment. Your daily discipline. Are you ready to become that person? Are you ready to reprogram your aura for massive wealth? Then listen carefully to what comes next. Because now we move from principle to practice. From understanding to application. From theory to transformation. You now understand the principles. You now see the path. But understanding without application is worthless. Knowledge without action is fantasy. So now you must act. You must implement. You must install the daily practices that will reprogram your aura and transform your relationship with wealth. These are not suggestions. These are commands. These are the non-negotiable disciplines that separate those who achieve massive wealth from those who merely dream about it. First practice, the morning declaration. Every morning, before you do anything else, you must speak your wealth into existence. Not in your head. Out loud. With power. With conviction. The first words you speak each day program your aura for the next 24 hours. Most people waste this power. They wake up and immediately complain. They check their phone and absorb negativity. They start their day in reaction mode. Not you. Not anymore. From this day forward, your first act each morning is declaration. You stand. You speak. You command your reality. Here is what you say, in your own words, with your own intensity. I am a magnet for massive wealth. Money flows to me easily and consistently. I am worthy of abundance. I am grateful for the wealth that is mine now. Today I will see opportunities others miss. Today I will act with certainty and power. Today I claim my prosperity. You say this with your whole body. You feel it in your chest. You let it resonate in your voice. You mean every word. This is not affirmation. This is declaration. There is a difference. Affirmations are hopeful. Declarations are certain. Affirmations are about what you want. Declarations are about what already is. You are not trying to convince yourself of something false. You are reminding yourself of something true. You are aligning your conscious mind with the truth that your subconscious needs to operate from. Do this every morning. Without fail. Without exception. Even when you do not feel like it. Especially when you do not feel like it. Because the days you resist are the days this practice matters most. Those are the days your old programming is fighting back. Those are the days you must assert your new programming with even greater force. This practice takes 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes. Everyone has 3 minutes. The question is, are you willing to invest those 3 minutes in reprogramming your aura, or will you continue to waste them on distraction and reaction? Second practice, the wealth visualization. After your morning declaration, you sit. You close your eyes. And you spend 10 minutes living in the mental experience of your wealthy life. Not thinking about it. Living it. You see yourself in your dream home. You feel the textures. You smell the air. You walk through the rooms. You appreciate the beauty and the space. You see your bank statement. You see the numbers. You feel the security. You feel the freedom. You see yourself making decisions based on what you want, not what you can afford. You feel what it is like to move through the world without financial stress. You feel what it is like to be generous, to help others, to invest in yourself without hesitation. You make this visualization as real as possible. You engage all 5 senses. You involve your emotions. You immerse yourself completely. Because your subconscious mind learns through experience, not through logic. When you give it the vivid, emotionally rich experience of wealth, it begins to accept that as your reality. And it begins to create circumstances that match that reality. This is not daydreaming. This is mental rehearsal. This is the same technique Olympic athletes use to improve performance. They visualize perfect execution. They feel the movements in their mind. And their body responds by improving in reality. You are doing the same thing. You are rehearsing wealth. You are training your nervous system to be comfortable with abundance. You are programming your aura to broadcast the frequency of prosperity. 10 minutes. Every day. Immediately after your morning declaration. This is non-negotiable. Third practice, the language audit. Throughout the day, you must monitor your words. You must become aware of every statement you make about money, wealth, and yourself. Every time you catch yourself saying something that reflects lack, I can't afford that, I'm broke, money is tight, you must stop. Immediately. And you must correct yourself. Out loud. You say, cancel that. What I mean is, I am building wealth. I am attracting resources. I choose not to spend on that right now because I am investing in my future. This practice will feel awkward at first. You will feel self-conscious. You may even feel foolish. Good. That discomfort is your old programming resisting its own death. Push through it. Keep correcting yourself. Keep replacing scarcity language with abundance language. Over time, this becomes automatic. Your default language shifts. You stop speaking lack and start speaking wealth. And as your language changes, your thoughts change. As your thoughts change, your beliefs change. As your beliefs change, your aura changes. Language is power. Words are programming. Control your words, and you control your destiny. Make this a game. Challenge yourself to go an entire day without speaking a single word of lack. When you fail, and you will fail at first, do not judge yourself. Simply notice, correct, and continue. This practice alone will transform your consciousness faster than you can imagine. Fourth practice, the gratitude ritual. Every evening, before you sleep, you write down 10 things you are grateful for. Not vague generalities. Specific blessings. 3 must be related to money or resources. Even if your current finances are challenging, you find reasons to be grateful. You are grateful for the money you have. You are grateful for the roof over your head. You are grateful for the food you ate. You are grateful for the opportunities you encountered, even if you did not act on them. This practice reprograms your focus. It trains your brain to seek evidence of abundance instead of evidence of lack. And what you seek, you find. What you find, you feel. What you feel, you radiate. What you radiate, you attract. Gratitude is the fastest frequency shifter available to you. It instantly elevates your emotional state. It instantly changes your aura. And when you do this every night, just before sleep, you program your subconscious mind to work on wealth solutions while you rest. Your last thoughts before sleep are the thoughts your subconscious processes most deeply. So give it thoughts of gratitude and abundance. Let those be the seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious. 10 items. Every night. Written down. Not typed. Written. There is power in the physical act of writing. It engages your brain differently. It deepens the imprint. This practice takes 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes. Fifth practice, the association assessment. Once a week, you must evaluate your associations. You must honestly assess who you are spending time with and what influence they are having on your aura. You ask yourself, do these people lift me up or bring me down? Do they encourage my wealth or reinforce my lack? Do they speak abundance or complain about scarcity? Do they celebrate my success or subtly undermine it? Be ruthless in your assessment. This is not about judging others. This is about protecting your aura. If you discover that certain people are consistently negative, you must limit your exposure to them. This does not mean you abandon them. It means you set boundaries. You reduce contact. You refuse to engage in conversations that program your mind for lack. And you actively seek out new associations. You join groups where wealth consciousness is the norm. You attend events where successful people gather. You read books by people who have achieved what you want to achieve. You listen to content that reinforces abundance. Your associations are constantly programming your aura. Make sure they are programming it for wealth, not for lack. Sixth practice, the daily wealth action. Every single day, you must take one action that moves you toward wealth. One action. No matter how small. You send an email to a potential client. You research an investment opportunity. You learn a new skill that increases your value. You have a conversation with someone who is more successful than you. You create something that can be sold. You optimize an expense. You ask for a raise. You pitch an idea. One action. Every day. This practice does 2 things. First, it creates momentum. Small actions compound. Daily disciplines practiced consistently create extraordinary results over time. Second, it reprograms your identity. When you take wealth-building actions every day, you begin to see yourself as someone who builds wealth. Your self-concept shifts. Your aura shifts. You are no longer someone who wants wealth. You are someone who creates wealth. There is a profound difference. And that difference is felt by everyone and everything around you. Opportunities sense it. People sense it. Resources sense it. And they respond by flowing toward you. This action does not need to be large. It does not need to be perfect. It simply needs to be consistent. One action. Every single day. Without exception. Seventh practice, the weekly wealth review. Every week, you sit down and review your progress. You ask yourself, did I complete my morning declarations every day? Did I do my visualizations? Did I monitor my language? Did I practice gratitude? Did I take daily wealth actions? Did I protect my associations? You assess honestly. You celebrate your wins. You acknowledge your failures without judgment. And you recommit to the practices. This weekly review keeps you accountable. It prevents you from drifting back into old patterns. It reinforces your new programming. You also review your financial situation. Not from a place of fear or judgment, but from a place of empowerment. You look at your income. You look at your expenses. You look at your assets. You look at your opportunities. And you ask, what is working? What is not working? What needs to change? Then you make one adjustment. One improvement. One optimization. Over time, these small weekly improvements compound into massive financial transformation. The weekly review takes 30 minutes. Schedule it. Honor it. Protect it. This is your time to reprogram, recalibrate, and recommit. These 7 practices are the mechanics of aura reprogramming. They are simple. They are practical. They are proven. But they only work if you work them. You cannot do them once and expect results. You cannot do them when you feel like it and expect transformation. You must do them every day, with discipline, with consistency, with relentless commitment. Because you are not just learning new habits. You are dismantling decades of false programming. You are rewiring your brain. You are rebuilding your identity. You are reprogramming your aura. And that requires time. It requires repetition. It requires patience. But I promise you this, if you implement these practices for 90 days, if you commit to them fully, without excuse, without exception, your life will change. Your aura will change. Your energy will change. Your results will change. Opportunities will appear that were invisible before. Connections will form that seemed impossible before. Ideas will emerge that were inaccessible before. Not because the world changed, but because you changed. You reprogrammed your aura. You tuned into the frequency of massive wealth. And wealth responded. This is the path. This is the process. This is the price. Are you willing to pay it? You have now received the knowledge. You understand the principles. You have been given the practices. The question is, what will you do with this information? Will you treat it like entertainment? Will you nod your head, feel inspired for a moment, and then return to the same patterns that have kept you broke? Or will you treat it like the blueprint it is? Will you take these principles and practices and apply them with the seriousness they deserve? The choice is yours. It has always been yours. And that choice will determine everything. Understand this, you are not a victim. You are not powerless. You are not at the mercy of circumstances, the economy, or your past. You are the creator of your reality. You are the programmer of your aura. You are the architect of your wealth. But that power comes with responsibility. Total responsibility. From this moment forward, you cannot blame anyone or anything for your lack of wealth. You cannot point to external circumstances and say, that is why I am broke. Because now you know the truth. Now you understand that your external circumstances are a reflection of your internal programming. If you are broke, it is because your aura is programmed for lack. If you are struggling, it is because your frequency is tuned to struggle. If you are stuck, it is because your beliefs are keeping you stuck. But if you change the programming, you change the results. Immediately. Not someday. Not when conditions improve. Not when you get lucky. Immediately. Because your aura is being broadcast in every moment. And in every moment, the world is responding to that broadcast. Change the broadcast, and you change the response. This is law. This is truth. This is the way reality works. And now that you know this, you have a choice to make. A choice that will define the rest of your life. You can choose to continue living as you have been living. You can continue to run the old programs. You can continue to broadcast lack. You can continue to wonder why wealth never comes. Or you can choose to reprogram your aura. You can choose to implement these practices. You can choose to take total responsibility for your results. One path leads to more of the same. The other path leads to massive wealth. Which will you choose? I want you to understand something. The universe is not withholding wealth from you. Wealth is not scarce. Wealth is not reserved for a lucky few. Wealth is abundant. Wealth is available. Wealth is waiting for you to claim it. But it will not come to you while you are vibrating at the frequency of lack. It will not come to you while your aura is broadcasting unworthiness, fear, and limitation. You must change first. You must reprogram first. You must become the person who naturally attracts wealth. And then wealth will have no choice but to flow to you. This is not magic. This is not wishful thinking. This is the documented reality of how consciousness creates circumstances. Every billionaire understands this, whether they articulate it this way or not. Every self-made millionaire has lived this truth. Every person who has risen from nothing to abundance has done so by changing their aura first and their circumstances second. You are capable of the same transformation. You have the same creative power. You have the same access to the infinite intelligence that governs all wealth. The only difference between you and them is programming. They programmed their aura for wealth. You have been programmed for lack. But programming can be changed. That is the gift of consciousness. That is the power of free will. You are not stuck. You are not doomed. You are not limited by your past or your present. You are only limited by your willingness to change. And I am asking you, right now, to make that change. I am calling you to step into your power. I am challenging you to take total responsibility for your aura and therefore for your wealth. This is your moment. This is your turning point. This is where you decide whether you will continue to be a passive victim of circumstances or an active creator of your destiny. The practices I have given you are simple. But simple does not mean easy. They require discipline. They require consistency. They require commitment. And most people will not do them. Most people will continue to blame and complain and wait for someone else to save them. But you are not most people. You are here because something inside you knows you are meant for more. Knows you are capable of massive wealth. Knows that your current circumstances do not reflect your true potential. That knowing is correct. Trust it. Honor it. Act on it. Starting today. Starting right now. Starting with the next thought you think and the next word you speak. Your aura is being programmed in every moment. Make sure you are the one doing the programming. Declare your wealth every morning. Visualize your abundance every day. Monitor your language relentlessly. Practice gratitude every night. Take daily action toward wealth. Protect your associations. Review your progress weekly. Do these things, and your aura will transform. And when your aura transforms, your life will transform. Money will come. Opportunities will come. Resources will come. Not because you got lucky, but because you reprogrammed your frequency to match the frequency of wealth. This is your birthright. This is your destiny. But it is a destiny you must claim through conscious choice and daily discipline. No one can do this for you. No one can reprogram your aura for you. This is your work. This is your responsibility. This is your power. And I am telling you, from the deepest place of knowing, that you are capable of this transformation. You are capable of massive wealth. You are worthy of massive wealth. You are destined for massive wealth. But you must decide. You must commit. You must act. Will you do it? Will you reprogram your aura starting today? Will you take total responsibility for your wealth? Will you become the person who naturally attracts abundance, prosperity, and financial freedom? The choice is yours. And your future is waiting for your answer. Choose wisely. Choose powerfully. Choose wealth. Because you were born for this. You were made for this. And the time is now. Reprogram your aura. Claim your wealth. Fulfill your destiny. The universe is ready. The only question is, are you?